as promised yesterday, and what you guys always want to see, you want to see figures, you want to see dials, you want to see them up close and personal, you want to talk about them in regards to the game. So of course, that's how we're going to follow up our wonderful friends at Wizkids present to us, and we're going to show you all the figures that we got from this set. Now, for those of you who are regulars to the show, I want to give you a heads up. We are going to be doing a second one of these. This is the Wizkids sponsored one based on what we pulled from the Wizkids brick itself. So look forward to our full review again of the 2 cases that we're going to be opening when the set comes out. But in the meantime, enjoy what we have, this little taste, this little preview, if you will, of the Joker's Wild set. You're going to get a good idea of what the common and uncommon slot looks like, and a little taste of the rare, super rares, and a little touch of prime. So without further ado, let's get into it. And starting with figure number 001, we happen to get the Joker. The Joker comes in at 45 points. He's got a special. He's got the Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld keywords. He's got a special damage power. Joker can use poison. He can use it normally, or instead may deal 1 penetrating damage to 1 adjacent opposing character. And then he's got some sidestep and mastermind. Now for 45 points, you're getting 5 clicks of health with the Batman enemy team ability. Overall, he's just kind of a small piece to add in. He's one of the last figures you put in your team, to be brutally honest. But the added addition of sidestep and poison, plus a little bit of mastermind if you happen to be playing with a couple Joker's thugs or some, thugs in general, can give him a little bit more longevity than he deserves. So as far as the meta competitive play, he might have a small place on a certain team, but he's definitely going to be part of the casual game, for sure. So next up, figure number 002, Harley Quinn. Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld keywords, and then what you see is what you get. 3-click, 25-point dial with Perplex through all 3 clicks. For 25 points for Perplex, you could do worse. You could also do better, but ultimately, if she can help keep your theme team with Gotham, if you're going for Gotham City Underworld or Arkham Asylum keyword team, she can help you along the way. So I'll give her an possibly for competitive play, but definitely has her place in fun casual play. Next up at 10 points with the Underworld team ability, we have the Joker Thug. Gotham City Underworld is the keyword, and then he's got a trait. The Joker is the king of Gotham. When building your force, the Joker Thug does not count against a theme team. If your force has a character named the Joker on it, if an adjacent friendly character named the Joker is hit with an attack, the Joker Thug may become the hit target of that attack instead, even if it would be illegal. And then at 10 points, you get 3 clicks. The first one with toughness, the next 2 with empower. 10 clicks with toughness off the start. I mean, if you're not messing with a wit, he's about on level with the Thug. The problem being, of course, that the Thug can be on any name, theme, team, keyword team, and the Joker Thug is limited to just Joker's theme teams. If you are running a team that relies on a version of the Joker, this is probably going to have its place as your own version of those of you who are old school protected. But overall, he's very thin use in competitive play if there is a competitive Joker. Otherwise, very, very casual Joker play team. And coming into the prime slot, adjacent to that Joker, would be Anarchy. Figure number 003B with the Gotham City keyword, real name unknown. He's got a trait, I've rigged the place to blow, or have I? At the beginning of the game, you may place up to 6 bomb special markers described on this card, at least 4 squares away from any starting area and each other. Now, he's got a special attack power. Give Anarchy a power action, place adjacent a bomb special marker as described on this card. So the bomb markers, at the beginning of your turn, if an opposing character is within 3 squares, you may roll a d6 that can't be rerolled. On a 1 to 3, it's a decoy, remove the marker. On a 4 to 6, boom! All characters within 3 squares of this marker are dealt 3 damage. Destroy all adjacent blocking terrain, then remove the marker. And then if you look at the dial, for 75 points, you get a little bit of leap and climb for mobility. You get probability control to start, perplex in the middle dial, some quake in the middle as well. But the ability to drop those bomb markers comes on the first and last 2 clicks. He's got a 4 range of the Batman enemy team ability. Anarchy he's got a place. It's a weird place, and those bomb markers are going to drive some people pretty bonkers. And I'll give him points for being an interesting character, and the fact that he can deal 3 damage in a large area if you can force your opponent. I mean, look at the map that we're on right here. This is probably a good map for Anarchy, to say the least. So he's got a place in competitive play. It's not obvious somebody's going to make a team, and with it, and hey, he'll be there. Next up, we have the Cobra Fanatic. Cobra Fanatic comes in at 20 points with the Underworld team ability. He's got the Strike Force Cobra keyword, Martial Artist and Soldier, and he's got Charge and Blades. For 20 points, you're going to ruin somebody's day with a 6-point Blades Clause. That's all I'm going to say. You know, the damage potential on this is pretty big. He does fit into a Soldier team. Underworld team ability, if you have some Underworld characters, I'll put him a light competitive, but he's definitely going to make for a funny joke, and he's going to have his own markers of triumph as far as casual play is concerned. So next up, taking slots 005A and B, the ones we've seen from Wizkids previews, would be the Court of Owls Initiates. Now you can see they come in either a male or female model. They've got a trait, Raise the Dead. When damage is transferred to Court of Owls Initiate, it is reduced by 1. And it's got stealth and exploit weakness on its last click. Underworld team ability, 10 points. Not bad. But specifically found a place if you find something with the Court of Owls for use. So probably most likely with Talon, or I do believe I gotta check into the assassins on that one. But we'll see from there. Next up, this one was really interesting to me, and it is the Thangarian. So the Thangarian comes in at 30 points, no team abilities, but he's got special movement power. Now, this is what really makes him kind of interesting. He's got the warrior keyword as well. Give Thangarian a move action that is with a locked speed value of 3. If you do, after actions resolve, a carried character may be given a non-free action, but only if it is a close action. Now, it's not much to look at this dial at all, period. It's actually generally not that great, but he's going to find a little pop in sealed, and that little 3-square reach can give a character without charge that really wants to be in close combat a little light version of charge. So, and you know, it also adds the flight that he has. It's a neat little thing, and I can see it in sealed play, definitely not constructed play for sure. Next up, we have Commissioner Gordon. Batman Family, Gotham City, Detective, Police, and Politician keywords. He has 30 points of the PD team ability. His trait, Life on the Streets. When Commissioner Gordon is the only friendly character using the police team ability for an attack, modify the defense value of the target by -2 instead of -1. He's got a special damage power. Commissioner Gordon can use enhancement and leadership and may use each only if no other character has used that power this turn. And then, so he starts to click, first 2 clicks with that leadership enhancement power, turns into normal enhancement at the end, 5 range, but the fact that you got enhancement mixed with the PD team ability that is better than other PD team abilities does put him in a little bit of a line. And this politician keyword is coming out of nowhere, and it's starting to stack up with some really awesome characters. So keep your eyes on that one, along with especially the detective police keywords. And Batman Family, Gotham City are going to be good in this set. So there's a support place for him, especially in the non-resource area of the competitive play. Look to Commissioner Gordon for some extra bonus bumps in damage. Next up, we have the Green Arrow, the first of our Justice Society characters, and get used to these guys. There's going to be a lot of them. He comes with the All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, 7 Soldiers of Victory, Star City, and past keywords. He's got a trait, a simpler time, once per turn for all characters with this trait. If a character uses the JSA team ability, replaces defense value of Green Arrows, also modify that character's defense value by +1 against range attacks. He's got sidestep and range combat. It's a very basic character, but for 40 points with 6 range and reasonable attack, can't ask for too much. And once you start combining it with some of the other JSA characters, it does start to get a little crazy. The thing is, the JSA guys have a lot of, not so much diminishing returns, but enhancing returns, the more and more of them that you happen to use. All right. So next up, figure number 9. I didn't realize there was 2 of them in the set. Robin. Robin comes with a trait, the Zip Line. He's Batman Family, Gotham City, and Teen Titans keywords. Zipline is his trait. Once per turn, give Robin a power action when he has no action tokens, or a free action if he has 1 action token. Place him on any square within range and line of fire. So, that's actually really cool. If he has an action token, you can free action place him in any square in range and line of fire. His range, of course, is 5. Wow. That's actually really good for a 45-point character that starts with Empower, has some Quake, and Plasticity. What am I reading here? This is pretty good. Wow. Yeah, this Robin is going to surprise some people at the wrong possible times. Wow. I'm awestruck. What a Robin. Whoa. Okay then. Whew. Let me now that I've recovered from that, let's talk about Wildcat. My prediction and possibly the reason why the JSA guys are coming at low points with reasonable but not great stats. First, Wildcat comes with the All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, Celebrity, Martial Artist, and past keywords. Of course, he's Wildcat. He's indomitable. He's 65 points, and he's got a simpler time trait. Once per turn, for all characters with this trait, if a character uses JSA team ability to replace its defense value with Wildcats, that character can use probability control, but only to reroll one of the dice in the attack roll. Then he's got a trait, sorry pal, I mastered that style before you were born. Adjacent opposing characters can't use close combat expert. And then he comes with reasonable stats with a mid-dial bump to close combat reflexes with close combat expert, 11 attack, and some sidestep, which ends the dial with some regeneration. Now, at face value, this is going to be a dial that doesn't see a lot of play. But I like Wildcat, so I'm probably going to force it to happen. So let's not kid ourselves. Wildcat's probably going to have a place on Jason Collins' team, though not necessarily on a whole lot of other ones. All right, and next up, we have the Court of Owls Assassin. It's got a Court of Owls, Gotham City Assassin, and past keywords. We got a trait, Claws of the Past. Court of Owls Assassins can use Blaze, Claws, Fangs, and Stealth. Court of Owls Assassins can use Mastermind, but only to transfer to characters with the Court of Owls keyword. So that's where these little guys come in. And then what you see is what you get. Dial for 70 points. Pretty reasonable, especially with Sidestep Poison to start off. Pretty reasonable attack value for the whole thing. And he's got Blaze, Claws, and Fangs traded along with Stealth. Not great, but casual play enabled for sure. And could, for 70 points with the Batman enemy and Underworld team abilities, you can probably pull something off with him that's pretty wacky. All right, next up, we got a sketch version, so unfortunately you're not going to get to see the true colors there, but we do have an Amanda Waller. She's got the Suicide Squad and Politician keywords. She is indomitable. She's also 25 points. And then she's Suicide Squad team ability along with a trait. There's no squad without the wall. Friendly characters with Suicide Squad team ability may use that team ability to heal when any friendly character is KO'd anywhere on the map. I believe the Suicide Squad team ability is usually limited to range. And she's also got a little bit of, leadership that's not going to see a lot of use, but it is going to give you extra actions. Never forget about that part of leadership. And she got stealth. She got stealth across her 3 clicks. 5 range indomitable to get her into position. Suicide Squad team is really going to use her. Otherwise, you're not going to see much of her. Next up, Colonel Rick Flag Jr. He's got Suicide Squad and Soldier keywords. His trait, squad on my position. Increase Colonel Rick Flag's defense value by 1 for each adjacent friendly character that shares a keyword with him. Now, note one of those keywords is Soldier, probably one of the cheapest keywords out there. And then what you see is what you get for dial. So don't let that 16 defense fool you. If you can get a bunch of soldiers next to him, you can easily get that up to 19 without effort. He's also got the Suicide Squad team ability, and if your opponent does start picking off those low point Suicide Squad members, if they've happened to hit him, he'll be healing up just a little bit here and there. So Colonel Rick Flag Jr., not the greatest, but is going to shock you when used. So next up, Black Lightning. Outsiders and Politician keywords. He's got a special attack power, Arc Lightning. Black Lightning can use Incapacitate with triple target. When he does, after action resolve, each hit target is dealt 1 penetrating damage. There's a lot of damage potential on something like that with Incapacitate when you consider he's got 8 range with 3 targets. He's also got enhancement. 75 points. He's for 5 clicks. He's a little soft. Don't let him get hit. But if he does happen to just go off on that first click where you can pull him off, he's going to ruin someone's day. Not going to see competitive play. Going to see some casual play. But overall, he's a neato little dude. All right. Next up, the Batman. Batman comes in figure number 16 with the Batman family, Gotham City, Outsiders, Detective, and Martial Arts keywords. He's got a trait, my team to handle what the league won't. Once per turn, when a friendly character within 6 squares uses the Outsider's team ability, that character can immediately use Outwit, but only to target opposing character targeted for the Outsider's team ability. And then he's got a special attack power, Analytical Mind, and Utility Belt. Give Batman a free action, and choose 1. Energy, Explosion, Force Blast, Incapacity, Precision Strike, or Willpower. Batman can use his chosen power until he chooses again. And then he's got Improved Movement, Ignores Elevated, and Hindering to match that Batman team ability and Outsider's team ability. He's got the special attack power on all 6 of his clicks. 120 points. points. He can have willpower if you need it. He can have precision strike if you need it. He can have energy explosion with 2 targets with 5 range. This is actually a pretty good Batman. Is he going to headline anything? Maybe not. But he's still, like, we're all still kind of getting over the Trinity War Batman, to be brutally honest, and that's going to be a hard thing to get around. The Batman ID card does still exist, and 120 points is pretty reasonable. I mean, somebody named Schmollschron Thrones might be able to pull him in. So, yeah, Batman's a really cool call-in, and Outsiders, I mean, in general, this Batman has got a place somewhere. It may not be on the board, but darn is he pretty good. All right. Getting into uncommon territory, we start with the Harley Quinn. We believe we've seen this one in a preview prior, but let's talk over it again. Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Sirens, Gotham City Underworld keywords. Did I go over Batman's keywords? I hope I did. But if I didn't, it's Batman, Batman Family, Gotham City, Outsiders, Detective, Martial Arts. Anyway, Harley Quinns, Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Sirens, and Gotham City Underworld. Trait, this is how I deal with the bat. Once per turn, for all characters with this trait, if a character uses the Batman enemy team ability to replace his attack with Harley Quinn's, also attack that character, modify that character's attack value by +1 if it's a close attack. So it could be a possible 11 attack. She got a special attack power that gives her incapacitate and poison, a good combination of powers. At 35 points for 3 clicks, really hard to hit. And 5 range, 2 targets. If you really need this extra little bit of poison or incapacitate, she can add to it. Not a first choice for a team, but the evasiveness of her could add to her survivability. So I'll give her a hard meh with some casual play possibilities, though may not see a lot of action in competitive. All right. Next up, the man of the hour, or rather, our man. Justice Society keyword, past keyword, and scientist keywords. A simpler time trait, but when he uses Justice Society, he gets probability control, but only if one of the rolls on the attack roll was a 6. So if it's a really good roll, he's gonna say something about it. Next, he's got the top of the hour movement ability. Give Power Man or Our Man. I keep calling him Power Man. I don't know why I do that. Give Our Man a move action when he's adjacent to blocking terrain and not holding an object. When you do, after action is resolved, Our Man is holding a standard light object. You could do worse for 25 points. Not much better. He's indomitable. The ability to add super strength to your general field, or the possibility of carrying some hindering terrain should you need it, is all there. Plus, your opponent might have to overextend, get you to a regeneration click, and then have to do that work again. Overall, not terrible for 25 points. Could round up a good theme team as well with this choice of keywords. All right. Next up, we talk the Tattoo Man. Tattoo Man has a Suicide Squad keyword. That's about it. He's got a special movement power. Each mark a sin. Tattooed Man can use plasticity and stealth. If he has an action token when he attacks, modify his damage value by +1. And then he comes with a 5-click dial for 60 points with poison. And what was the movement power? Plasticity and stealth. Not terrible. If you happen to push, he does more damage. It does have shape change, adds to its evasiveness. Man, Tattoo Man I don't think is ever going to be a guy that I really want to he's one I always want to see in competitive play, but it's just never going to happen for me, I don't think. But that said, he's going to be a fun character to play with in your casual game. All right, next up, Manhunters are back. PD team ability. They are 40 points. Cosmic and robot keywords. I hear that keyword's pretty popular lately. And they are 23A. Probably worth noting, as we might get something that makes them better than this, I hope. Now, for 40 points with an 11 attack with incapacitate, it's not bad, especially with a 7 range and sidestep with flight. He can add to a team, but that defense is not going to hold him. If he gets hit, he will feel it. But they do have to commit a lot to kill this 40 points, and that seems to be a trend in a lot of characters in this low point value, where you have to overcommit to a low point value and possibly overextend yourself. So I gotta see what B is first before I put my final opinion, but at face value, it's not the greatest figure out there, especially when you can spend 30 points for a much better figure in Ultron. All right, next up, Technocrat. Has the Outsiders and Scientist keywords. Improved targeting, ignore elevated terrain. He's got a special attack power, Skyline targeting microbot, so when Technocrat makes a range attack targeting a single character, increases damage value by 1. For every 2 squares away from the target is from Technocrat. Wow. I want to see what his damage value is on that. Then he's got a special damage. Oh, he starts with a 3 damage with it. Oh my goodness. Give Technocrat a power action and choose Outwit or Perplex. Technocrat can use the chosen power until he uses this power again or until he takes damage. Now, let me just take a look at this. The first 3 clicks. So he's 80 points. He's got running shot on the first 2 clicks. Is that a power action? I can't remember. When he makes a range attack targeting a single character, increases damage by +1 for every 2 squares away from the target. The target is from Technocrat. He's got the Outsider's team ability to make it easier to hit them. And then he's got a 10 attack with a 6 range. Now, the 6 range, if you get them their full range away, he could be dealing a 6 damage that ignores elevated terrain if you place this guy correct. Wow, what a cannon. If you can do something about this attack value, you got something going for you. And he does match that up with the Outsider's team ability. And then that damage power to give him power action to choose Outwit or Perplex. And then he can choose that power until he chooses his power again. So late die, give him a power action, he now has Perplex. Unless you really need to change it, you keep it until you die. Yeah, I like this guy. I like him a lot. Scientist keyword and Outsiders. I'm going to make him work, and he's going to be worth the work for sure. Glass Cannon, without a doubt. All right, next up, continuing on the JSA thing, Hawkman. All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, Past, and Warrior keywords. Simpler time trait where he gives +1 defense against close attacks. And then the only powers he has are charge and toughness. Now, it's not a particularly thick dial at 3 clicks, but for 30 points with a 10 attack with charge with flight, 11 attack, a 10 movement, with charge and flight, 11 attack, 18 defense with toughness, and a 3 damage, you could do worse for 30 points. That's actually a pretty good figure, in my opinion. It's worth the 30-point investment, especially when you can actually share that 18 defense with some JSA members. Okay, next up. Bronze Tiger, League of Assassins, Suicide Squad, and Martial Artist keywords. You got special movement power. Bronze Tiger can use charge, flurry, and sidestep. I'm going to pause there. I'm going to look at... Of course it's on its first 3 clicks. Of course he's only 60 points. Of course he's Suicide Squad. Oh, man. They've never made a disappointing Bronze Tiger, let me tell you. I like this guy. Precision Strike adds to his effectiveness. Charge, flurry, sidestep. Great combination of powers. Charge in, flurry, possibly sidestep away from danger. Late dial combat reflexes to keep him going. Second dial, 11 attack. He still has the flurry and the sidestep and the charge with that. Adds some willpower. He does lose his damage, but it's okay because he has Precision Strike. Yeah, I like this guy a lot. I hope to see him on some teams, and we'll see how he goes from there. So we'll call him edge of competitive, super really good and casual. All right. No. We have Robin with the Gotham City Brute and Martial Artist keywords. Real name Jason Todd. What? Movement, improve movement, ignore elevated terrain, and he's got a trait. 1/900 live or die. When Robin would be KO'd, both players roll 2d6. If the result of your roll is higher than your opponent's, you may instead replace Robin with figure number 17 Red Hood on an orange starting line with 1 action token. Okay. Those of you who don't know, in reference, Jason Todd was a Robin who died, and that's how he died, courtesy of fans calling a 1/900 number. That's not a great dial either, but it might live. I'm done. That's definitely a casual play, but oh man. Oh, Wizkids, you broke me. You broke me. All right, next up we have Vicky Vale. Vicky Vale is Gotham City and reporter. The world needs to know your comment. So the world needs to know is that trait that a lot of reporters are getting. Beginning of your turn, you may choose an opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire. Until your next turn, that character's combat values can't be replaced, can't be modified to a higher value than its printed value. And then she does have a 3-click dial at 25 points with 2 clicks of probability control in late dial. If you're rounding out a reporter team, she's a good... you can't go wrong with a little bit of probability control. All right. Next up, figure number 029, Calculator. Simply's got the Society keyword. His trait, Criminal Contacts. Calculator and friendly characters within 8 squares are considered to be adjacent for purposes of the Batman enemy team ability. So kind of like the Kingpin from Superior Foes of Spider-Man. High-level predictions. Calculator can use probability control, but only to target opposing characters with the highest point value, regardless of line of fire. And he's got the Calculator team ability, which is Wildcard, and the Batman enemy team ability. So Wildcard anything but the Batman enemy team ability, and you should be A-okay. That probability control on the first 2 clicks is going to be pretty neat, and then he kind of rounds it out with some outwit, a little bit of precision strike. Supporting role character is not as effective as the Kingpin is for his points, but at the same time, that probability control can possibly go a long way. So we might see him on certain select teams. All right, next up, Cobra. With the Strike Force Cobra keyword, Ruler, and Scientist. He's got a special defense power, Shedding Scales. Cobra can use Mastermind and Toughness, and his Mastermind will work on those little Cobra soldiers that we talked about earlier. He's got the special damage power, Cobra Strike. Cobra can use Leadership, give Cobra power action, choose up to 2 adjacent friendly characters with the Strike Force Cobra keyword, give Cobra and each chosen character a move action as a free action. Mind Control off to start. Defense isn't that great, but Mastermind and Toughness to go with it. You definitely need him with the 20-point Cobra Fanatics or even 10-point Thugs. Special damage power, Leadership, give him a power action, choose friendly characters, Strike Force keyword, give Cobra and each chosen character a move action. Well, you can move your 20-point guys up to get them closer for that Charge Blades Claws. I think Cisguy's going to surprise somebody in Sealed. I don't think he's going to ruin anybody's day in competitive play, but casual games where somebody has brought a ton of Cobras and a couple Cobra soldiers is going to make somebody shriek like a girl. All right, next up, Merlin. In Justice League, League of Assassins, Star City Assassin, and Martial Artist keywords. Ignore hindering for movement purposes. Ducking cover. When Merlin has 1 or more action tokens, he can use Stealth. And he's got a special defense power. I always see it coming. Merlin can use combat reflexes. When he would be hit by a range attack, you may roll 2d6 and compare the result to your opponent's unmodified attack roll. If your result is higher, the attack is evaded. And then he's got a 6-click dial, 80 points. He's got that defense power on the first 3 clicks. It's not going to defend you against Precision Strike, but at the same time, if you're pretty good at rolling, you're pretty good at staying safe. He does move into some more close combat focus along with a range. Like, he's got this really weird middle dial here, but then you get into the late dial with some Flurry, Blades, Claws, Willpower, and Shape Change. Late dial, Shape Change. Might keep him in the game a little longer than you want him. He's not going to be breaking the competitive metagame pretty soon, but he's going to be on a couple of my competitive or my casual teams for sure. All right, we're now entering that rare slot, and HC Realms can now relax. It's happened. It's finally happened. Killer Moth has happened. Gotham City Underworld is his keyword, and then he is a what you see is what you get dial for 65 points with the Batman enemy team ability. Who really needs a Batman enemy character nearby? He's got this really weird mid-dial spike of 18 defense. He starts with some energy shield, some late dial combat reflexes. Somebody's making fun of us, guys. That's a strictly casual play figure, by the way. Oh man, I'm moving the camera all over on you guys. I apologize for that. All right, next up, Flash. We've seen this guy, but we'll go over him quickly. Excuse me. All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, Keystone, City Past, and Scientist and Speedster keywords. Simpler time, once per turn. He can use super senses. So, friendly character sharing his Justice Society team ability, defense of 18, can use super senses on a 6. Then he's got Hypersonic for his first 3 clicks, super senses his last 2. Reasonable attack, reasonable defense, reasonable damage, but like 2 damage, not great, but for 35 points, how much more can you ask for? Oh, yeah, sorry. He's got a place in competitive play somewhere as a definite harassment piece, probably in the non-resource limited format. All right, next up. She's a real looker. She's Gotham City and Outsiders for keywords. Then she's got a special movement power, telepathic coordination. Looker can use mind control. Once she does, and the hit character modifies its attack value by +1 this turn, even if it has been targeted by the Outsiders team ability. So, one thing to note is that she's strictly there for that mind control. She does start with really good attack with that mind control. She's got the outside ability and 8 range, energy shield to kind of keep her going for 45 points. She's a very singularly focused character, and unfortunately her day is going to be ruined by 65 points of Nighthawk Prime. That said, I like her. And for 45 points, you can't really go wrong for what you get. So take a look to the looker. All right. Next up, we have Sandman. All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, and past keywords. A simpler time trait, which allows you to use probability control, but similar to, I believe, Our Man. If a 6 is rolled, you can use it. Is the only situation where you can use it. He does have the Sleep Gun, special attack or damage power. When Sandman hits with attack after action resolve, you may counter a power on the target until that character clears action tokens. Boom. He has that power on all 3 of his clicks. He's 30 points for 4 clicks. He's cool. 30 points, you could do worse. And JSA team ability, JSA pass, you can squeeze them into some teams. One of the things that's really hard to knock these Justice Society guys is because they're so low on the point value spectrum that you really can't complain about them. All right, next up, one of my personal favorites of all time, Lady Shiva. I love me my Kung Fu. League of Assassins, Assassin, and Martial Artist keywords. This is how I deal with the Bat. So she does have a trait regarding the Batman enemy team ability. And when she uses it, a character can increase their attack value by +1 if they use her attack value. Hey guys, want to see what her attack value is? It's 12. So if you're making a close combat attack next to Lady Shiva and you happen to have the Batman enemy team ability, you've got a 13 attack. As well, she's got a special... Oh, she's got Precision Strike on that 12 attack. Oh my goodness. That's also not on her card, interestingly enough. What? Uh-oh. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if they're going to issue an errata on that. I'm going to stop kind of calling it out on there. Next up, okay, sorry. She's got a special move power. Lady Shiva can use... Oh, well, here we go. That's probably why she shouldn't have that. Boy. All right. So interestingly, she's got a movement power that gives her Flurry and Precision Strike. When she uses Flurry, if the second attack is against the same target, you may keep the result of one of the dice from the first attack, and if you do, the second attack roll can't be re-rolled. And then she's got a special defense power. Lady Shiva can use combat reflexes. Adjacent opposing characters can't have their combat values increased when making close attacks. So she's got a 19 defense, and you're stuck with whatever attack you're making in close combat. For 50 points, you can't argue with that. I'm going to make some calls and find out what's up with that attack power thing. All right. Next up, Katana. Oh, and she comes with the Clix effects base. The Muramasa Soul Taker. Whenever Katana KOs an opposing character... Oh, sorry. She's Birds of Prey, Outsider, Suicide Squad, and Martial Arts keywords. Whenever Katana KOs an opposing character, choose one to use for the rest of the game. Precision Strike, Steel Energy, Willpower. Now, it doesn't say once per game. So, KO... If she happens to KO the first character, and you give her Willpower, she KOs the second character, you can give her Steel Energy, keep her in the game. And then she happens to KO another character. If they still have characters left, you can add Precision Strike. My goodness, that's actually pretty cool. She's got another trait, Draining Your Soul. When an opposing character takes damage from Katana's close attack after action resolve, you may attach the slash marker to that character, removing it from anywhere else. When a character with a slash marker is given an action token, deal it 1 penetrating damage. When that character heals or clears action tokens, remove the slash marker. And she's got a special movement power that gives her charge itself. She ignores hindering terrain for movement. She's not too bad. 5 clicks for 75 points, but you do get some really good stats along with some exploit weakness to go with everything. And it doesn't look like she's traded with blades, but that's okay. I think that's exploit weakness with the 11 attack is supposed to represent. Plus, outside team ability. Whew, what a character. May not make competitive. Is going to dominate some casual games for sure. All right. Last but not least in the rare slot, a little bit of grace. Amazon and Outsiders keywords. Trait, I'll take the big guy. After a move action, Grace is given results. She may make a close attack targeting an adjacent higher point opposing character. Now, she's 125 points. So it's going to take one heck of a character for her to have to do that. But note that if you can run in using that Outsiders team, that's going to be neat. Anyway, is what you see is what you get on the dial. Whoa, that's a pretty tough. Here's a tough lady right here. Indomitable to add to it. Outsiders. So you lead in with your Outsiders. You move next to a higher point character who hopefully is higher than 125 points. So it's 126 or higher. And then you can make an attack at 11 attack, 4 damage, possibly with an ultra heavy because she's got super strength. Whoo, mama! Oh boy, yeah, that's she's got some give on her. She's going to dominate sealed. May not be seen in competitive play, but might make some tears for casual play. All right, guys, get your Plastic Man ID cards out. He's available. We have ourselves a Plastic Man. Justice League and Detective keywords. Patrick Eel O'Brien is his real name. Tag, you're in. Now, if you watch our other video, I went over this very quickly, but I'm going to go over it again. Plastic Man can use shape change, but succeeds on a 4 to 6. When Plastic Man hits a single opposing character after actions resolve, attach the tag marker to that character, removing it from anywhere else. A character with the tag marker that moves away or moves must break away as if it was adjacent to Plastic Man. Character must roll to break away as if it were adjacent to Plastic Man, and if it was within range, can be targeted by Plastic Man with a close attack. When the character successfully breaks away, it is hit with an attack, or Plastic Man fails a shape change roll, remove the tag marker. Immeasurably powerful, absolutely nuts. When Plastic Man is given a non-free action, choose one. Sidestep, Tiny, regular damage symbol, or Giant. Plastic Man can use the chosen power or has the chosen symbol until Plastic Man chooses again. Let's get back to this. Plastic Man is within range and target with a close attack. This is an interesting character. I don't see his call-in potential per se on the ID card, but it's there now. 70-point call-in, if you happen to be using the arcade technique, is an interesting choice. Justice League Detective keywords are okay. The ability to become tiny makes him a really, really interesting character. Really hard to get a hold of because of that 4 to 6 shape change. And if you get past that first click, man, is that plasticity going to be annoying on anybody you tag. Not the greatest. Not going to break the game. But hey, we have a Plastic Man again, guys. Who can argue with that? All right, next up. Also with the Clix effect space, I might add. Clayface. Gotham City Underworld keyword. Trait. This is how I deal with the bat. And he get... so if somebody takes his attack value. After action resolve, you can place the mud marker in a square occupied by a hit character, removing it from anywhere else. So, and I wonder if he... Okay, this is another trait. Smother you. When Clayface hits an opposing character with a close attack, after action resolve, you may place the mud marker in a square occupied by the hit character. So either he or a character adjacent to him can be placing this mud marker. Characters occupying a square with the mud marker are dealt 1 damage at the end of their turn. When actions resolve and no character occupies the same square as the mud marker, remove it from the map. Interesting. So if you can get the right character at the right time, characters occupying a mud marker are dealt 1 damage at the end of the turn. Huh. Yeah, it could be like a kind of a mobile all over the place poison. Now for 75 clicks you get a lot of clicks of health here. 3, 6, 7. He dies on click 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have to deal 7 damage to this guy. He's got plasticity. He's got reasonable stats until that middle dial, but he's also really tough. For 75 points, tank? All right, guys. We started the set the same way we're ending the set, with the Joker. And this is the Killing Joke one. We got a sketch variant. Deal with it. This actually looks pretty good for a sketch variant. They've done a much better job for sketch variants, I think, this set. And I'm really impressed with them. All right. So the Joker. Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld, and Justice League keywords. Trait. If it's a laughing that will kill you, the Joker can use poison. When he does, the damage dealt to characters with a lower point value is penetrating damage. And he's got the Mad as a Hatter trait. Other characters can't use Precision Strike when attacking the Joker. That is really strong when you consider that he's got Mastermind on a lot of his dial, and especially on his last stop click that can use Mastermind. Joker can use Ranged Combat Expert as his damage power and ignore characters for line of fire. So it's not using them both in conjunction. You can use either or. When the Joker hits with an attack with 6 range, hit characters are given up to 2 action tokens. Really reasonable dial for what you get. 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 12 are his attack values, especially on a stop click. Indomitable 6 range. This guy is going to make a mess of somebody's day in limited. I can see it happening. Don't underestimate this Joker under any circumstances. You can't get past that Mastermind, really. And he's got Precision Strike interlocking with some Blade's Claws. So he's got Mastermind to start, then he goes into Super Senses. He still can't be Precision Striked. Toughness in the later dial to that last click where he's got the stop click with Mastermind on it that can't be ignored, so he can pulse wave him and he can still Mastermind the damage. I like this Joker a lot, especially if he can start hitting attacks with his really high attack values. He can really, really wreak havoc on somebody. So I'm going to say he's got to play somewhere in competitive play. There's going to be a team that uses him, especially in the non-resource format, and I'm really excited to see him in action. All right, that's the set that we got.